Yo, it's JSF, and I know I'm always the first one to say a character's trash, say character's overrated, say stuff like that. So I want to talk about a character that I think is underrated, that is slept on, that everybody's wrong about, and that character is Scarlet. And to understand this, you have to understand that most people who play this game don't know anything about fighting games. Again, like, you can be pro level at MK11. You can win a lot at MK11. You can be God rank, fucking Combat League, whatever you want to say. That doesn't mean you know a thing about fighting games. And it shows all the time. The fact that basically nobody in this game understands zoning, understands the keep away game, and knows how to deal with it or how to do it. The majority of the people who play this game don't. They just pick something busted. They pick set your round and do ground pound over and over. It's literally brain dead. You don't have to think or use any brain cells, right? Scarlet zoning is different. Even when people try it, they usually do it wrong. Like, they might throw blood ball and maybe tongue. They might do that, right? But she has a straight fireball, a low fireball, and other moves that, can be projectile adjacent. If you want to go there, and she has different options. Basically, she had a ton of options. Scarlet has the best zoning in the game, as far as outspacing and keep away game. Scarlet is the best at it in the game. People think RoboCop is a zoning character, a pew 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 fireball character, but he's not. I've said this before. RoboCop is a pressure character. He's not a zoning character. Scarlet is a zoning character, and she's designed like a zoning character, and people don't understand it, I guess. But to understand this, I guess you got to start with why people think Scarlet is bad, right? Now, people don't, let me start with the variation of Scarlet I use. People don't really say Scarlet is terrible as much anymore. They used to say in the first year of the game's life, around Aftermath, it was still going on. But now you just see her really low on tier list. You don't see people play her very much. And yeah, you don't hear much about her being good, being, high tier. When you hear about Scarlet, it ain't about how good she is in the game, right? Cool, bet. And I've tried to figure out why everybody thinks this character is bad. I can get it down to about a couple of things. One, that her damage isn't good. She doesn't really have she doesn't have a launcher, right? She's got this string, right? You know what I mean? I forgot to use on breakaway. She's got that string, right? 2-1-2 can launch. You can get something off of it or whatever, depending on what moves you have. You can do 1-2-3 into something but she doesn't get really good combo damage. She doesn't have a launcher. I have no proof of this whatsoever, but I think at some point this was to be a launcher, but they said, nah, she shouldn't have a launcher. Just the same way Jade doesn't have a launcher, Scarlet doesn't have a launcher. I wonder why, right? They're very similar characters, and Jade is top tier. She's either very, very viable or top tier. And some people would say she's better than top tier, but that's a different video. So the other weakness, quote unquote, that I would get the other thing that people would say about Scarlet that makes her weak is she got gaps, right? Gap City, Gap City, Gap City, Gap City, Gap City. She's got more than her fair share of gaps, right? Now, my biggest issue, I have two major issues with this. One is that Frost has gaps in everything too, and nobody ever says Frost is bad because of her gaps. Frost is the worst character in the game. The community just doesn't want to listen to reality, but whatever. Two, Scarlet has a parry. Scarlet has a parry, Scarlet has a parry, Scarlet has a parry, Scarlet has a parry. So, and I understand, right? You know what I mean? I understand you can beat the parry. I understand it. Right? It's possible to beat the parry, but guess what? Hold on. I'm manually doing this. Damn, it's not going. You can also lose to the parry, right? So there is a frame, maybe two, that you can beat the parry if you flawless block, right? If you flawless block it on the right frame, you can beat the parry with most characters. I won't say all, but it's not guaranteed. So you can flawless block up 3 and then flat out lose every single time for flawless block up 3 and or up 2 in it. But if you get it on the very frame, the very frame or two early enough, you'll beat the parry. I don't know if you guys have paid attention, but online, getting something by 1 to 2 frames is not consistent. It's not regular. It's not really realistic. So using the parry after your gaps is very real. Very real. And if they don't do anything, if they don't even flawless block it, right? Cool, you just got parried. Cool. That really don't got that much recovery. It's really not that bad. Not to mention, you can go into other special moves that they'll get punished for if they try to, you know, that they'll get punished for if they try to punish you for going for the parry, right? They're like, you have options on these strings. It's not that it's just, oh no, I'm super unsafe, I'm gonna get punished every time I do this. No, you're not. And if you just do nothing, you're -1. You get mashed after that. Like, if they don't flawless block it out of fear of getting parried, or they don't have the meter to flawless block up 2 or up 3 it, because if you're playing this game at a high level, you should be paying attention to your opponent's meter. If they don't have defensive meter, or they don't have, you know, a bar of offensive meter, it's party time. Like, you're -1 after this. You can down 1 after this, and her down 1's great. Her down 1's really, really good. Her down 1's like solid. Look at that. Pretty good range. -5, but a lot of down 1s ain't gonna reach from here, right? If I switch to Kung Lao, his down 1 ain't gonna reach from there, right? That's after Scarlet's down 1. You know what I mean? He mashes, you would punish him. Great. And not to mention, on hit, right? If he's not blocking. On hit, +14 or whatever, it goes into wherever you want. You know what I mean? You go into her jab string, and her jab string is mad good. Her jab string is extremely good. I don't want to hear what none of you. Her jab string has a gap. You want to know why the gap in her jab string doesn't matter whatsoever? Do you want to know why this? Nah, you stand up, bro. The gap in her jab string doesn't matter. Let me turn flawless block off. It's gonna fuck it up. Because her jab string is hit confirmable. Like, you can do the first 2 hits, right? Just the first 2 hits. Confirm them, then do the 3rd hit. Like, do you see? I'm only doing it when I hit him. I'm only doing it when I hit him. Every time. You can 10 out of 10 hit confirm her jab string. That's something a lot of characters don't have, right? A lot of characters don't have hit confirmable jab strings. So it literally does not matter at all that this gap exists. It has to exist. And the shit's -1 after with mad pushback, right? You can literally just confirm it. Like, if you're good at the game, you will never get punished for doing this. Never, not once. It won't happen. It won't happen. It's like certain things in a game that I say are not a mix-up because you can fuzzy it, right? And it's like, if you fuzzy it every time, you'll never get mixed up by it. The mix-up doesn't exist. Like Katana's shit where she goes into low fan, none of that shit is a mix-up. None of it. Katana doesn't have mix-ups. That's why she needs a little more help. But that's another video too. Anyway, back to Scarlet, who's ahead of me, right? In front of me, right? Her zoning, best in the game. Why? So she's got tongue. Y'all know about tongue. We know tongue is great. It's knocking you back to full screen. I'm putting a blood ball out to doing another projectile. You know what I mean? That's 2 highs, but if you just duck, you get hit, right? You can get this in the tongue to hit basically at the exact same time. They gotta take that. Not to mention, she can get her health back. I don't think people realize how valuable it is when a zoner, a projectile keep away character, can regenerate health, right? And not to mention, it's not the only way she can get her health back, right? If she parries you, she's getting that health back, right? Like that, you know what I mean? All she gotta do is spin the bar. Boom. Not to mention, Parry's got a KB. Parry's got a crushing blow. So you might want to respect the parry, right? Now a lot of characters have low starters and whatnot, so that, you know, the parry isn't the end all be all, but it's something that they have to account for. Not to mention her mid-range game, she's got some of the best buttons in the game. Some of the best mid-range buttons in the game if you want to just outspace your opponent. This has a gap in it. Cool, nobody cares. You're going to cancel it anyway, every time. You're going to cancel it every time. You're going to cancel it into something. You'll find something, I guarantee it. You're going to cancel it, bro. You're going to cancel this. This button's 13 frames. It's got mad range. You can hit from damn near round start. This is like Spawn standing 3. It just doesn't lead to big combo damage, right? Scarlet doesn't have the big combo damage because that's not her game. Her game is to, you know what I mean? Her game is to zone you out. Like, it's to do this, take some health from you, back up, zone you out, tongue, put this on the screen, tongue, like that. This is her game plan, bro. Her game plan is to run away from you. And then when you get close to her, you know what her game plan is? To teleport. or teleport far. You know what I mean? Safely. I'm giving up the defensive meter because I'm confident that you're not going to catch me anyway. This is her game plan. Is it boring? You could argue that. Is it good? Yes, it's not bad. Not to mention, like I said, when you're a zoner who can regenerate your health, bro, and this isn't even like, this is just a loadout I play. This, if you want to do damage, you have boiling point for that, right? If you want to do damage. Cinnabar meter, 25%. 25% into zoning. It's a some type of guaranteed chip, right? Something, or an unbreakable, by the way. 28%, right? If you want to do damage, use this move. Now, there's other moves I want to talk about. This variation. So I want to talk about one move in this variation that I made for one specific reason, right? I still have Dagger Dance because I feel like you need the parry to play Scarlet optimal, like an optimal way. I think you need the parry. I think you gotta have that, right? But I have Cell Siphon, right? Cell Siphon is 19 frames, not the fastest thing in the world. Only +4, but it is +4. You get a free down one, just like Spawn ending his combos in restand. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you're right here. If you can get them to mash something, kill them for it, whatever. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because when you have this move, now this move is death on whiff. It's death on whiff. But look at the range, right? If I get a little bit closer, look at that. Look at the range. Now, when I look at that, if I get a little closer, I'm gonna hit him from like here, right? The range is OD. So, does it do much? Nah, 11%. Doesn't really do too much. Brings them into a situation where you can get a free down one, right? And if they get hit by it, you know, jail into whatever you want to go into, right? And not to mention her jab is -1. I didn't even mention it. Her jab's -1. So it's good for like harassing or like tick throw type shit. Not a real tick throw, obviously, but good for that type of situation. And when they think they know you're gonna do that, cool. And like, here's the thing: if you can hit confirm that this is blocked, go in and parry. If it's not blocked, well, shit, he's blocking it. If it's not blocked, you know, go into something else. Like, if it's not blocked, maybe you get some health back if your health is low, and back up when you're plus. You know what I mean? Like, you have options. You just have to know what to do with this character. This move is also a good reversal for moves that are unsafe, that you know are hella minus, but they've got pushback, right? This is a bad example because it's kind of loud, but let's say he dive kicks, right? You know what I mean? I'm really trash. Hold up. There we go. Reversal, that's a bad example, but for something like, let's say, Scorpion's Death Spin or something, right? Boom, right? Something like that, maybe, because, you know, moves that are like -20 plus frames, you know, 25, -26, you know, -22. You have a 19 frame reversal that's gonna catch them. If they touch you with the move, it's gonna catch them, right? And then you bring them in, and it's your turn. You're only +4, but if they mash anything, your down one's gonna beat it, right? You sure you don't have a 9, 10, 11 frame mid, but that would make this move really, 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 really good. A couple other moves I want to talk about, because I think with Scarlet, it's important to know your matchups. Scarlet's a character, here's something her and Frost have in common. There are different loadouts that you want to play for different matchups, right? If there's a matchup where you know you're going to be zoning most of the time, there's something you want to do. If it's a matchup where you're probably not going to be able to zone at all, there's probably different moves you want to use. There's just something else about Scarlet. There's an optimal way to play her, an optimal moveset to pick, But there isn't one moveset that's just perfect for every single matchup. This is what you always want to use. So we got some other moves, right? This move. This move replaces tongue, so I think most people wouldn't ever want to use it, right? But does do DLT. Maybe you're in a matchup where you're not going to do any zoning, right? You're not really going to get to zone against Scorpion. You're not really going to get tongue off. You're not really going to get it. If you land a hit, you might just go for this because you want to get the health regen. Or you go for the armor break, right? Or something, whatever the situation is. So you say, I'm fine with losing tongue in this matchup. I'm fine with losing tongue. I'm never really going to use it. By tongue, I mean the tentacle. I'm always call it a tongue. So I go for this move, right? Does a little bit of damage, but now if they're near me, it does DOT, as you can see. So if they're up close to me, he's gonna be taking damage no matter what, right? Whether I'm hitting him or not, right? Then we got this. If you are gonna be zoning, I forgot what this move is called. Crimson Shield, yeah. Crimson Shield. If you are in a zoning matchup, and you think, I don't mind not having a back forward for boiling point. I don't mind not having boiling point. Let me switch it out for this. So now I have a defensive shield, so I take less damage, but I still zone you out, right? So your projectiles are gonna do less damage to me than what mine are gonna do to you, and I can put more shit on the screen. Not to mention, you can have this and still have the tongue. So if you're like, you got all those projectile options, you're out zoning everybody in the game and you're taking less damage and you can recover your health. Like, how do people say this character is bad? It's crazy. Then what's the last one? Red Ray. This one is just a damage buff, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah, while you're in it, you do more damage. While they're in it, they do less damage. This one isn't amazing, but hey, maybe you pick both. A shield and a damage buff, and you just zone somebody the fuck out, and they can never catch up in the zoning game. I don't know if you would want to play these moves together, but I'm saying it's about options, bro. It's about what you can do with the character. What the strength of a character is not in what you have done with the character. Yeah, this one I have Crimson Shield and I have Boiling Point. This, and I got rid of the teleport, right? And it's not about what you've done with the character, what somebody else has done with the character, what you've seen. It's how good a character is depends on the tools they have, the potential movesets you have, right? I can have this projectile, this projectile, this projectile, this projectile, this projectile, and a shield, so I take less damage from all your projectiles, right? It's pretty fucking busted. Like, it's really, really good, and it's not like you can just rush Scarlet down. You really can't. She has buttons to keep you away. She has good buttons to keep you away, right? You know what I mean? And if you're you know what I mean? If you're getting antsy, that's a counter hit crushing blow. And guess what? I get my distance again, and you're taking mad DOT, right? Like, there's just a lot of shit. The overhead crushing blow is not great. No, it's not. But it's a 22 frame overhead, which online in this game, good luck blocking this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Her sweep is mad range. It's unsafe. But, like, if you're not a character like Sub-Zero, right? Because it's minus 15 on block, right? Minus 12. Oh, shit. Minus 12 from here. Yeah, you're safe. You're safe. That's actually safe. I think Kano Ball might be the only thing that might punish it, maybe, from this type of range. Granted, you can flawless block it. But who's flawless blocking a sweep from here? And even if you do, it's only minus 17. So her sweep's mad good from a distance. The overhead hits around the same distance. This is more unsafe. You know, minus 16, minus 17. This is going to get punished by some normals, some Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero slide, Cannonball shit's going to punish it too. But it's not to be abused. Use it in a situation like this. Minus 16 against this dude, Kung Lao. He might punish it, he might not. He's got forward too, but you know what I mean? Look, so she's got long range, really, really good buttons. Really good buttons, and they're really good for what she wants to do, right? You get this knockdown off the overhead. Now they gotta wake up into whatever you want to do to them, right? You can do that. They can wake up into this. And wake up into a down one, into this, and like I said, her jab, if you land a down one, this is a mid-string. If you land a down one, this is a mid-string, right? It just is. And here's the thing. not only is it hit confirmable, right? Like say I just hit him with a down one, he blocks. Not only is it hit confirmable, it's -6 with a little bit of pushback, right? Right? It's -6 with a little bit of pushback, right? And if he doesn't respect, the fact that you can use the gap, if he's trying to press at this point, then blow him up for it. Blow him up for it, right? Then do the last hit in the tongue. Then do it. You know what I mean? It's a whole thing, bro. This is one of the best jab strings in the game. It doesn't need like the stereotypical normal auto shimmy, the noob tie by 2-1-2. It doesn't need that shit because it has its own shit. This shit works. I mean, granted, you gotta land a poke first, right? And her down 3 is kind of it ain't like the other ones. Her down 4, you can actually get some pretty decent mileage out of, but it's not. I don't think it's that great. But her down 1 is where the money is. Her sweep is where the money is, you know what I mean? 4-2 is where the money is. This is specifically for whip punishing. Back 1-2, literally just for whip punishing. If it ain't gonna whip punish, then don't even do the full string. No reason to do it and get blown up with a flawless blockable gap, because this is not cancelable into parry, right? This is just when you react to them whipping something. If I see Kung Lao from over here doing this, I'm doing this so I can get the KB. That's what that button is for. That's why it's 19 frames. That's why it goes as far, it swings downward like that, because it's gonna hit anything. It's gonna hit some things in the air too. Speaking of the air, her anti-air game is like not amazing, but her jab can do it. Her standing 2 can do it. Her standing 4 can do it. She just got some options. Her down 2 is kind of trash. But, she's got some options. It's hard as fuck to anti-air in this game as it is. You can't really anti-air consistently in this game as it is. But she has options when you jump at her. It's not like she has the shittiest anti-air game in the game or anything like that. But yeah, basically that's Scarlet. Like, that's how I feel. I don't understand why she's placed low on tier list, because she doesn't do combo damage. Like, it would be cool if she had a launcher, but imagine if Scarlet could do Jackie combos. 30% before you can break out of the combo, 36%, 40% if 40% for 2 bars type shit. Like she would be busted as hell, right? She's amazing at what she does. From full screen, she's the best character in the game. Right, from full screen, she's got it, right? And there are characters like who can shoot low projectiles, and they do that type of shit. But then she has a teleport for that, right? I don't have it in that variation, but I went through all my variations. Wow. I don't have it that one, but like if it's one of those situations, she has the teleport. Like, it exists. It's in the move list. You don't need to play it every time, but it's good to have. You know what I mean? Stuff I still didn't mention, like her having one of the best wake-up 3s in the game, having 2 throw-crushing blows. I'm just really long-winded, and the video is way too long already, so I cut it a bit short. But yeah, there's a lot going for Scarlet. She's mad good. Like, she's got a whole game plan. I just don't get where the idea that she's not good comes from. I'm not saying she's top tier, but I'm saying she's probably the most slept-on character in the game. But hey, man, let me know what y'all think. Feel free to disagree with me. Feel free to tell me, no, her gaps, I'm telling you, man, the gap in this string means absolutely nothing. The gap in this string means absolutely nothing. This can just be put into parry. Yes, you can beat the parry, but it's not guaranteed. Good luck doing it consistently online. Not to mention, she doesn't have to finish the string. She can be -6, -5. You know what I mean? She can, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as easy as when you fight a good Scarlet player, which is rare. There aren't that many. But when you fight a good Scarlet player, you're not going to just sit there and flawless block her to death. You're never going to flawless block the string against a good Scarlet player. It's never going to happen because they're going to confirm it, right? This, maybe, but good luck. You know what I mean? A good Scarlet player isn't giving you a chance to flawless block this. There's no reason to do this mid-screen. Like, this has a gap, but there's no reason to do this mid-screen. For what? Look at the reward. There's no reason to do. You don't get anything off of this. You don't get anything, right? So that whole, I don't know if that's still like the big complaint about her, but it was for a long time, and it was just, it just doesn't matter anymore. I don't know if it mattered a year or 2 years ago, but I'm telling you it don't matter now. Scarlet's mad good, very viable. If you like Scarlet, player, I will teach you how to play Scarlet if you want to play her. Anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here. I've been talking for way too long about a character I don't play. Y'all stay safe. JSF. Subscribe if y'all enjoy content.